Did you know that over 90% of indoor herb gardens started by beginners fail within the first month? While those Instagram-worthy windowsills overflowing with lush basil and mint make it look effortless, the reality is a bit more wilted. If you've ever tried to grow herbs indoors and ended up with a pot of lifeless stems, you're definitely not alone. Welcome back to Don't Do This Guide. Today we're diving deep into the surprisingly tricky world of indoor herb gardening. We'll uncover the hidden challenges and pitfalls that make growing herbs indoors a real test for beginners. So before you turn your kitchen into a mini jungle, stick around to learn what you're up against. All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Or should I say the lack of sunshine in the living room? Herbs crave sunlight. And I'm not talking about that weak light that sneaks in through your window for a couple of hours a day. We're talking full-on, 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight. Calm down, my friend, there's a simpler solution. Grow lights. Think of these bad boys as the sun's cooler, more technologically advanced cousin. But here's the catch. Not all grow lights are created equal. You need to pick the right type of light for your herbs. Some herbs prefer a more desert-like environment with plenty of light, while others can tolerate a bit of shade. Trust me, getting the lighting right is half the battle when it comes to indoor herb gardening. So, you've got your grow lights all set up, you're feeling like a regular indoor farming prodigy, right? Well, hold your horses because we need to talk about another crucial factor: temperature. Herbs are a bit like Goldilocks when it comes to temperature, they like it just right. Most herbs thrive in temperatures between 65 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit during the day, and slightly cooler at night. Indoor environments can be notoriously unpredictable when it comes to temperature. To avoid giving your herbs a temperature roller coaster ride, you need to find a spot in your home that's relatively stable. Avoid placing your herbs near drafty windows, radiators, or heating vents. Consistency is key when it comes to temperature. Sudden temperature swings can stress out your herbs, making them more susceptible to pests and diseases. Let's talk about everyone's favorite topic: watering. It's a crucial aspect of gardening that can make or break your indoor herb garden. Overwatering is one of the most common mistakes that beginner herb gardeners make. It's easy to think that more water means healthier plants, but that's far from the truth. Think of it this way. Imagine being forced to wear a soaking wet sock all day long. Not very pleasant, right? Your herbs feel the same discomfort when they're overwatered. That's what it's like for your herbs when you overwater them. They become stressed and their leaves start to droop and yellow. Their roots need to breathe, and when the soil is constantly soggy, it creates the perfect environment for root rot to set in. Root rot can be devastating and often irreversible. On the other hand, underwatering can be just as detrimental. Your herbs will wilt and their growth will be stunted. So how do you find that sweet spot? It's all about balance and observation. The key is to pay attention to your plants and the soil. Each plant has its own unique needs, and the soil can tell you a lot about what those needs are. Before you water your herbs, stick your finger about an inch into the soil. This simple test can prevent a lot of problems. If it feels dry, it's time to give them a drink. But remember, moderation is key. And when you do water your herbs, make sure you water them deeply, allowing the water to penetrate all the way down to the roots. This encourages strong root growth. Make sure your pots have good drainage holes so excess water can escape and not drown your plants. And always empty out any excess water that collects in the saucer underneath the pot. This prevents the roots from sitting in water and rotting. All right, let's talk dirt. Yes, you heard that right, dirt. The unsung hero of your indoor herb garden. I'm talking about the soil you use for your indoor herb garden. It's more important than you might think. Not all soil is created equal. Each type has its own unique properties and characteristics. Using the wrong type of soil can be a major reason why your indoor herb garden is struggling. It can lead to poor growth, wilting, and even plant death. Think of soil as the foundation of your herb garden. Just like a house needs a strong foundation, your herbs need the right soil to thrive. It provides essential nutrients, anchorage for the roots, and it helps regulate moisture levels. Without the right soil, your herbs won't get the nutrients they need. The soil you find in your backyard is not the same as the soil you should be using for your indoor herbs. Backyard soil can be too heavy and not well suited for container gardening. Garden soil is often too heavy and dense for containers, and it can compact easily, suffocating those delicate herb roots. This can lead to poor root development and unhealthy plants. That's why it's crucial to use a well-draining, lightweight potting mix that's specifically designed for containers. This type of soil allows for better air circulation and root growth. Look for a potting mix that contains a blend of peat moss, vermiculite, and perlite. These components work together to create the perfect environment for your herbs. These ingredients help to improve drainage, aeration, and water retention, creating the ideal environment for your herb roots to thrive. Proper drainage is key to preventing root rot and other issues. And while we're on the topic of soil, let's not forget about fertilizer. Fertilizer provides the extra nutrients that your soil might be lacking. Just like us, herbs need a balanced diet to grow and thrive. Without the right nutrients, your herbs won't reach their full potential. Use a balanced, water-soluble fertilizer that's formulated for herbs and vegetables. This ensures that your plants get the right mix of nutrients. Remember, it's always better to under-fertilize than to over-fertilize. Too much fertilizer can do more harm than good. Too much fertilizer can burn those delicate herb roots. Always follow the instructions on the fertilizer package and err on the side of caution. Pests and diseases, the bane of every gardener's existence. They can turn a thriving garden into a battleground, leaving gardeners feeling frustrated and helpless. Indoor herb gardens, while often more controlled environments, are not immune to these pesky invaders. They can sneak in and wreak havoc if not properly managed. One of the most common pests you'll encounter indoors is the fungus gnat. These tiny flying insects are more than just a nuisance. Attracted to moisture, they love to lay their eggs in damp potting soil. The larvae then feed on the roots of your plants, causing significant damage. Another common culprit is aphids. These small, pear-shaped insects can multiply rapidly, creating large colonies on your plants. Aphids suck the sap out of your herbs, leaving behind distorted leaves, sticky residue, and a weakened plant. This can stunt growth and reduce the overall health of your garden. But don't despair. There are ways to prevent and control these pests. With a little effort and the right techniques, you can keep your garden healthy and thriving. One of the best ways to prevent pests is to start with clean, pest-free potting mix and containers. This reduces the chance of introducing pests to your garden from the start. Inspect your herbs regularly for any signs of pests and isolate any infected plants immediately. Early detection is key to preventing a full-blown infestation. If you do find pests, there are several options for getting rid of them. From natural remedies to chemical treatments, you have a variety of tools at your disposal. You can try natural remedies like neem oil, insecticidal soap, or a strong blast of water. These methods are often effective and safer for your plants and the environment. And if all else fails, there are always insecticidal sprays available at your local garden center. These can be a last resort for particularly stubborn infestations. Prevention is always better than cure. By taking proactive steps, you can minimize the risk of pests and diseases in your garden. Keep your herbs healthy and strong, and they'll be better equipped to fight off those pesky invaders. A well-maintained garden is your best defense against pests and diseases. All right, let's face it, not all herbs are created equal when it comes to indoor gardening. Some herbs are just naturally more suited to the great indoors than others. First up, let's talk about the rock stars of the indoor herb garden: basil, mint, parsley, chives, and oregano. These herbs are relatively low maintenance. They tolerate a wide range of growing conditions, and they're pretty forgiving when it comes to beginner mistakes. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, we have the herbs that are a bit more high maintenance: rosemary, thyme, sage, and lavender. These herbs prefer a drier environment with plenty of sunlight, and they can be a bit more finicky when it comes to watering and humidity levels. The key to success with any herb garden is to choose herbs that you'll actually use and enjoy. Patience, young Padawan. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Here's the thing about gardening: whether it's indoors or outdoors, it takes time. You're not going to go from seed to salsa garden overnight. One of the biggest mistakes that beginner herb gardeners make is giving up too soon. They see those first few true leaves emerge, and they think, "I've got this." But then a week goes by, and nothing seems to be happening. Or worse, those once vibrant leaves start to wilt, turn yellow, or drop off entirely. And you know what happens next? Discouragement sets in. But here's the thing: setbacks are a normal part of gardening. Every gardener, no matter how experienced, has experienced their fair share of failures. The key is to not let those setbacks discourage you. Instead, view them as learning opportunities. Be patient, be persistent, and most importantly, enjoy the process. There's nothing quite as rewarding as harvesting your own fresh herbs. So there you have it, the hidden challenges of growing herbs indoors for beginners. While it might seem like a simple and rewarding hobby, it comes with its fair share of hurdles. But don't let these challenges deter you. Awareness is the first step toward success. By understanding what obstacles you might face, you're better equipped to overcome them. With the right knowledge, tools, and a sprinkle of patience, you can turn your indoor herb garden dreams into reality.